Hey everybody, I'm Kathy Burns. I'm a realtor here in the Lake Norman area, just north of Charlotte, North Carolina. And this is Real Estate Riches. And I am here to share some tips and tricks. So hopefully you will subscribe and see if this might be a benefit for you. Share the word. And I've got some really good tips for you, 4 of them today. So stay tuned to the end, and I will have a link at the end of something that can benefit you. Today I want to talk about personality styles. I was just doing a podcast with Elizabeth Riley. She's a luxury agent out of Texas and with EXP. And man, I watched her on a podcast yesterday, and I was so blown away with a couple of things that she did. So she talked about her DISC profile. That's DISC. And I was first introduced to this back in the 90s, where it helped you understand not only your personality style, the other personality styles that are out there, and how you can learn to talk to those people, communicate, whether it be your spouse, employees, whether it be another realtor on the other side of a transaction with you, or even your buyers and sellers, right? Because you'll start to recognize different personalities, and you can mirror with that so they'll start to feel comfortable with you, right? So one place you can go is on Tony Robbins' website. He's got a free DISC profile that you can go on there and find out your style. And I encourage you to do it with your husband, your wife, your kids. Have everybody do it. Start to find out these different personality profiles, and you'll be surprised. And I'm a car person, as you can see, and I relate. I can see the type of car that you drive, and I can kind of tell your personality style because it's a symbol. Like you see sports cars right there. Well, a high I is someone that is the life of the party, strong personality. They're just out there loving everybody. That's an I. And a strong I is someone that's really over the top. It's kind of me. And a D, also they would drive a sports car, right? Top down kind of thing. They like the attention. I'm admitting it. Whereas someone who's a D, a driver, dominant, they're like heads of companies. They're really strong personalities. They'll often drive big trucks, or they'll drive boxier cars that are solid, strong, right? And that's kind of a style of that. Whereas like a van, and there's different reasons for people driving different cars too, but like a van might be an S, which is very sympathetic. They're sweet, and they want everybody in the world to be happy and like everybody. And C, they're very calculating. Where they know how to put everything in place. I love a C. I have practically no C in this whole body whatsoever. But man, I need a C in my life, because they're the ones that keep things in order. They're the ones that, like your CPAs are a perfect example typically of a C. And a great assistant in your business would be a C-style personality. And realtors can be every one of those styles because they can mirror and get to know their different clients. The ones that usually build the big teams typically have a lot of D in them. And when I was watching Elizabeth Riley on her podcast yesterday with Michael Valdez, she was saying that she was a strong S. And yet I was seeing traits how she was talking with Michael, who's a very strong D. And I said to her, what do you think about that? And she goes, I mirror who I'm with. And that's something you're going to want to learn about, because if you're all reclining and you're with a strong D and you're the real estate agent in that process trying to pitch strong D, like let's say a luxury seller or a luxury buyer, but you're really passive because you're a soft S, you don't want anyone to be upset, this isn't going to work. You got to bring your strength up, because they're not going to respect who you are. So I encourage you to really check that out. And that's on Tony Robbins' website. I've seen it for free. And I used to send my assistants there, or anybody I was employing, to go fill that out so I could find out their personality. An example would be like if you had an assistant where you needed them to do a lot of detail work. If you hired a high I, they're not going to get the job done. Like if you hired me to be your assistant, I'm going to fail miserably. I'm just telling you that right now. And so learning those skills, boy, that's a big deal in this business. I would encourage you to do that. Another thing that she talked about in her interview was being early. Man, I'm a stickler for being early. And what was funny was I always get on my Zooms where I'm meeting somebody at least 15 minutes early. Put the record on pause. I'm checking all my different things out. So I'm making sure my camera's right, my recorder's right, everything's right, the lighting's right. That's my mission, right? And I like to just breathe, kind of review who I'll be interviewing and get comfortable with that. Well, she talked about it on that podcast the day before. I got on it at 1:45. Don't you know she jumped on at 10:02? I laughed out loud when it happened because that was her style. And if you're like that, you're early for everything. And I'm going to tell you something to the ones that are not even on time. When you are not on time, you are disrespectful and you're kind of setting yourself up for challenges, people. I'm saying that. When you disrespect me by not at least being there at the agreed upon time, I already have a wonder, like, what are you going to be like to work with? Are you always going to be, late? Do I have to count on you being late? Because I'll always be early, which is going to make us really waste a lot of time. Or do I come prepared to do some work before you get there? It's not how to do it professionally. I tell you, if you're the person that's always late, start learning how to be the person that at a minimum is on time and shoot for being early, because you can't count on traffic. You can't count on most things when you're meeting somebody. Always be early. Every single appointment I would have with a client, I'd probably be at least a half an hour early. We want to lay out the territory. If it was a listing, I want to lay out the territory to make sure I understood the street, just driving it, right? Checked out the houses nearby. I'm looking at their house from the outside. Then I would pull up probably 5 minutes early. Not walking up at that door on time. I did learn my lesson one time. I was way too early. I knocked on the door. I think it was a half hour early. And I go, right, a little early. He goes, yeah, you're too early. Get out of here. I said, okay, well, that was a great lesson. So now I don't do that anymore. It's just important to be respectful of people's time, everybody's time. And what you'll learn is, it's a gift to you because you're not going to be so stressed out that you're always running late. So there's 2 lessons in there for you. And another one was how we talked about collaboration. She started a group called AHA, Agents Helping Agents. Boy, I love that idea when I saw it. And it's something that I want to be a part of. I help everybody. You ask me something, you're trying to figure out how to do the business, I will teach you. It's been that way since day one when I didn't even know the business. But as soon as I learned something, I was happy to share it with you. In this industry, that has not been a common theme. Collaboration needs to be. I'm with EXP. That is our mantra. We collaborate on steroids. We lift each other up. And I'm going to start doing more of that, where I'm going to bring in agents, whether you're with EXP or not, because you're not getting it at your firms. If you are, great. I love that. The majority are not. And I'm going to encourage you to start talking to other agents like, how can I do this? How can I do that? I've started another channel with my daughter. It's all about tech. And I'm going to tell you, the teacher learns more, I swear, than the student sometimes, because I ask people who wanted to become YouTube famous and teach me something that you know, not just me. Teach the group, I'll interview you about something that you're good at with technology that'll help other realtors. So far, we've learned about flipbooks, lots of things with Canva. We're learning about AI prompts. I understood that. I've been teaching about that, but there's so much to that. So be a collaborator. So that's 3 things so far. And there's just so many tips, but be on time, check out the DISC profile, and be a collaborator. Those 3 things are going to change who you are in your business. And 4, I'm going to say, pay attention to tech. You can come check out my other channel. I'll have the link below. And I really encourage you to get involved with AI and how it can help your business. It's not going to take over your business, but the ones who don't bring it into their industry, they will the ones that'll just fade away because the other agents who are doing it. So if you like this, please subscribe below, share this, spread the wealth, and let's talk more about how we can help each other. Okay? Stay tuned for more.